Standerton is a significant town in Mpumalanga, South Africa, known for its thriving commercial and agricultural sectors. It is situated on the banks of the Vaal River and is particularly renowned for its cattle, dairy, maize and poultry farming. Hello and welcome back to our channel. If you haven't done this already, please subscribe and press the bell icon. That way you'll find out every time we bring you a new and exciting travel adventure video. Standerton is a significant town in Mpumalanga, South Africa, known for its thriving commercial and agricultural sectors. It is situated on the banks of the Vaal River and is particularly renowned for its cattle, dairy, maize and poultry farming. As the town prospered, its location became increasingly important at the peak of the wool trade, serving as a midway point between Heidelberg and Martinus Wesselstroom, now Wukkerstroom. With the discovery of gold on the Witwatersrand, Standerton also became a thriving hub of activity as wagons filled with mining equipment passed through town on their way to Johannesburg. Despite this, a reporter from The Times gave a scathing review of the emerging town in December 1881, calling Standerton one of the dreariest locations on earth. They criticized the town for being made up primarily of corrugated iron sheds, with a significant number of them being drinking establishments. During the First Anglo-Boer War, the Boers besieged the British garrison in the town for 3 months, 29 December 1880 to 26 March 1881. With the exception of a few skirmishes, the Second Boer War had little impact on the town. General Redvers Buller, leading the British forces, peacefully captured Standerton on the morning of June 23, 1900, as the Boers offered no resistance. Buller used John Gibson's residence and was known as Buller's Lodge, is now the town hall today. Standerton was already a well-established settlement when the railway infrastructure was built. Rail operations between Natal and Standerton began on 27 August 1895, while a route between Standerton and Heidelberg opened 3 months later on the 15th November 1895. The original station was erected parallel to Standerton streets and in line with the market square, and it was also on a higher elevation to the west that overlooked the town. The elaborate pointed gables of the raised central section of the roof, which faced the station and the street, gave a characteristic English appearance. Lindsay and Perry built the station construction, which is made of coarsely dressed natural stone in an uneven pattern. It had facilities, waiting areas, an entrance hall with an office, a luggage room, and offices for the assistant station master and train conductors. The Nederduits Gereformeerde Church was established in 1877, 2 years before the town was proclaimed. The Transvaal Teaching Department later purchased the initial small church building and used it for student education. The second church complex had a near-replica design of the church building in Utrecht, KZN, some 160 kilometers away. While the cornerstone of the Standerton church building was laid by General Joubert on the 25th October 1889, the building went through a revamp in 1895 and 1914 to accommodate 1,500 churchgoers. This beautiful building was sadly demolished some 51 years later, in 1941. Erected beside the church is the Burger Memorial to commemorate the area and the Boers of Standerton, who gave their lives for the freedom of their people and country. The Standerton concentration camp was located on the Vaal River, east of the Paul Kruger Bridge. The camp was constructed around December 1900 and handed over to civilian supervision in February 1901. Mr. van Musschenbroek was then appointed by the local district commissioner, and the camp was mostly left to its own devices. No records of arrivals or departures being kept as families flooded in, with some being deported to Natal and others relocated to other camps, while at the time the Platron camp was being merged with the Standerton camp. In February 1901, General Superintendent Goodwin reported that the people's situation was pitiable in the extreme. To make matters worse, Dr. Leslie, who had been dispatched from Cape Town, saw the camp and refused to take up his duties, causing considerable inconvenience. Standerton camp had surpassed its maximum of approximately 3,000 by the end of May, and more people continued to arrive. As housing became scarce, families were sheltered at the local Dopper church, while others were permitted to reside in the town, much to Moffat's chagrin. During the cold, wet winter, many people grew ill and died from pulmonary complaints and typhoid. The measles epidemic began in September, brought in by children from a group captured by Colonel Colville's column. Apart from the pneumonia outbreak, poor sanitation had resulted in Salmonella, E. coli, and Streptococcus infections by October. 857 women and children died in the camp. Margrietha Swart of Rudecrans lost 8 of her children in a 19-day period, in just one of many tragic cases. Soon after the war, Charles Landau, the mayor, presented a memorial fountain in commemoration of the women and children who died in the concentration camp and placed in Market Square.